point, right? About the globe religion. It is a religion after all. I mean, I don't know how you don't see that, Jake. Like you've
What's a
invested a
religion?
great deal. Your belief in the globe model in science, mainstream science, like you've invested a great deal of faith to accept it. Yeah.
Well, that's just because all the evidence that I've personally collected and observed conforms to that. But if I could be shown evidence that's irrefutable of the flat, I would accept the flat. I don't believe in anything.
The problem there is that the only evidence you accept is from the powers that be. If they're not extra, you don't.
I've already said the standard. If any flat earther can show me the math and the model of the path of totality of the next solar eclipse that conforms to a flat Earth, I'll be flat Earth overnight.
Yeah, Shane St. Pierre already won a bet over the path of totality. So you might want to go look into that.
St. Pierre?
Yeah, you didn't know, dude. Your standard has been met. George St. Pierre made a model and won $10,000 for it.
George St. Pierre. No, it was Shane.
GSP.
GSP.
George. Put the guy in an armbar after?
So yeah, Shane already made the model and won 10,000 for the thing you're asking for. So your standard has been met. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Oh, Jake's a flat earther? All right. Welcome, Jake.
By his standard, he said 5 seconds ago. Maybe his standard has changed.
The bathroom's on the left,
Jake,
if you need to use it. And we got snacks on the right.
Yeah. You can put your vote in the hat for the name of the gang too. Flatemic, anti-phlegmatic, or what'd you call it? Flatonic?
No, it's definitely anti-phlegmatic.
I'm watching his video.
Good on you, brother. Accept the evidence from you like don't really question the source. If they benefit from it, you'll just accept it as it is. Second off, how do you explain the evidence of Göbekli Tepe? And then they pass it on. The country of Turkey passes the responsibility and the authorization of the archaeology that was happening there. They pass it off to some world. It wasn't the World
UNESCO.
Yeah,
UNESCO?
Exactly. Maybe, but they pass off. So Göbekli Tepe threw a wrench in the historical timeline. Correct.
In what the mainstream conclusion of what the history indicates, yes, they had to. They're revising what they think happened in the past based off of the new evidence presented at Göbekli Tepe. Yes, exactly, precisely.
Dude, they stopped excavation. They halted all excavation and further discovery once they handed it over because it was fucking up their timeline so much. They basically said, we have to stop this evidence. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well then that's anti-historical if that's the case.
Okay, and so I
wouldn't be.
I would like you to address. That's an instance that I would like you to address. You've been asking for something the whole time, and there's plenty of.
If I'm going to address that, the evidence given in Göbekli Tepe is that it was not built during the Tartarian era, and so it is evidence of some sort of megalithic culture or whatever who built big things, and it would be great for the study of history and archaeology and anthropology.
Do you remember why they basically shut it down, or why it was so mind blowing? It wasn't just because of the precision of the blocks that were together, and it wasn't just because of how do they get these heavy blocks there, these heavy stones. They were akin to the Georgia guide stones, showing that the Earth was flat by a star not moving, through the structure. They were lining up with constellations and all kinds of crazy shit that they should have no knowledge of. And it disproves the motion of the earth if you look into.
These are all like different plans. I don't even disagree with. I don't know. I can't even disagree or agree with like most of those things you just said. Like, what do you want me do you want me to address something specifically, or are you just addressing the room?
Yeah. Were you familiar with the Georgia Guide having that?
I'm
right.
Yeah, that like I think it's like Sirius peeks through or something like that.
Okay, and they fucking demolished it. How sketchy is that mainstream, detail of that incident, right? It was just demolished, but there were a bunch of fucking weird things that happened even around that, right? You can't get the true story. It's akin to Epstein,
This is just kind of a small thing, but I came across this yesterday. If you guys hadn't heard about this, there's this huge event happening. It's called Iceland Eclipse. I'm posting the website for it. And it's in Iceland in next August, 2026. And it's like this, looks like a big kind of festival, with all kinds of like probably, tents and stages and live music and all kinds of like little side trips you can do and, artists and et cetera. And there's going to be a solar eclipse, like an epic solar eclipse apparently too. And you can see it, the total solar eclipse from right there. And you can look, they have all kinds of like tickets, and I guess like Reggie Watts is going to be there. Bunch of people. But what I found odd about it is that there's like 6 astronauts. It says right here, meet our cosmic participants, musicians, artists, astronauts, scientists, visionary leaders, wellness guides, and more. I don't know if I've ever quite seen anything like this though, because there's a lot of like, people like doing, like almost like maybe a Burning Man kind of scene, maybe somewhat like a little bit like maybe not exactly Burning Man, but a lot of probably psychedelic stuff and artists and yoga, meditation, spirituality, all kinds of things within those areas of things. Music, probably trance music, rave type music stuff. There's probably gonna be all that. And there's like these astronauts, like 6 astronauts. Dr. Jeanette Epps. I guess she was on the ISS. She claimed to be for like 200 days. I was looking at a few of the other ones. One of the guys was like on the Blue Origin thing. One of the ones that's, calling him an astronaut. But I just found it like, I don't know if I've ever quite seen an event like this. I mean, there's definitely events like this that incorporate all kinds of like, the whole like festival scene and, all the music and art and stuff. But I've never really quite seen one where it's like, there's going to be astronauts there, like 5 or 6 astronauts giving like keynote speeches. Just strange to me. I've never quite seen that blend. It makes me think like, who's really putting this thing on? Like if they're getting their astronaut dudes to go. Now I know from the perspective that space is all like legit and real. It's like, oh yeah, they got these visionary space cadets to come talk to people. Or obviously from the perspective that's a complete deception, and they're trying to kind of co-opt and try to have people that are on like the cutting edge of sort of art and music and consciousness and all that stuff, right with like the astronauts, like, and we're leading you to space. Anyways, I thought it was kind of a strange blend, but yeah, apparently these astronauts are going to be there and this like big festival. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that since I came across it.
What is it called again?
New Age astronauts.
Yeah, Iceland Eclipse 2026. It's called. They got all the info on there. Tickets are like $1,000, I think.
Cool, thanks.
$721 for just basic admission. They said it's almost sold out. I think it said there's like 3,000 or 3,500 tickets. You can pay upwards of like, I don't know, some of these were like 3,000-4,000, where you get like an RV, and there's a ton of people. Like if you look at the list of all the, so I guess it's kind of like a big outdoor festival kind of thing, with like tents and stages and people giving speeches and stuff. And doing like guided meditations or guided sound healing and all kinds of things like that. Yeah, it just seems like a strange blend to have like astronauts be there. I've never really seen those blended, so it makes me wonder like who's putting this thing on. And
yeah, it's very interesting. I would love to hear what Dr. Epps has to say if she sees stars or not in space.
I don't like to go. Dr. Epps, have you seen stars in space? Oh yeah. I know, that's what's a trip, dude. From the perspective of those astronauts, just bald-faced lying, like they're going to be there like, I've seen the curvature, and all these people are going to be like, wow.
Right, and why would, she's getting paid. she's probably active duty as an astronaut still. If she's wearing that uniform and repping it like she is, she would have to be like active. At least that's how it works in the military. So, like they wouldn't let her do something like this unless it was approved, which is all the more wild.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, she's the one that definitely is like repping the NASA. She's like, well, because I was trying to look them up. This one guy, Dr. Chris Bashirzen, he was just on like the Blue Origin thing. Yeah, Dr. Jeanette Epps. Yeah, I think that she's like an actual NASA, like claims that she was on the ISS for 220 days or something. Like I looked her up. So she's the one that's the most like NASA oriented. But yeah, you're right. It would have to be like approved. It's not like some like, hippie people like decided to put this festival on. We're like, oh, let's get her on board. Like it would almost have to seem like maybe they're the controllers are the ones putting it on if it's that approved,
Yeah, because she would get reprimanded if she went to some hippie event in uniform representing NASA,
Right. She can't just pop up
do
there.
that. Yeah, she would face consequences. And especially if it was like this well documented that she's going to be there and it's such a prestigious event, she would have already been pulled off unless NASA was involved.
Yeah, so Jeanette Epps looks like she's a retired NASA astronaut, is claimed. She was on SpaceX Crew 8 that spent 235 days in space and 232 days on the ISS. So yeah, she's full blown on all of it. And then I think this other one, this woman,
Cyan Proctor.
Cyan Proctor, yeah, she was on the Inspiration 4 orbital space flight, claimed to be like the civilian Inspiration 4, like that SpaceX thing in 2021. So I guess she was on that thing, which is kind of Blue Origin, but like a step up from that.
Why didn't they? Yeah, that's interesting. Why didn't they have one of these newest christened astronauts that went up with Katy Perry? We should have the, squad appearance of them.
Yeah. I don't know if any of those are in it. Well, there's this other one. Let's see, Joan Higginbotham. She, I guess, also is a NASA astronaut. She was on the Space Shuttle Discovery, STS-116, as a mission specialist. She was the third African-American woman to go into space. So I guess she's like pretty NASA, full-blown NASA astronaut. And then who's this other one? Keisha Shahaf. Look her up.
Yeah, that would be cool to go there and then set up a stand and just have a slideshow and the video of the path of totality explained by St. Pierre during this Eclipse event, Just be like, this is not Globe exclusive, in case you thought that.
Yeah, I wonder if any like people will be there that are flat Earth oriented that are gonna like question her or like, I don't know though. A lot of the people, dude, like, just in like the spiritual kind of worlds out there, like they're still pretty globe. I mean, not all of them. I think there's some, like in like the festival scenes and stuff. Like, I don't think there's a ton of flat Earth and that stuff. Maybe some. There's always gonna be some people, but I don't.
Yeah, they're not gonna be very vocal about it, because then they would get shunned from future events like this,
And just the way people get triggered by it, yeah, it's a thing where it's just wild though, because you can have all kinds of theories on things, spiritual, vaccines, whatever, but flat Earth, it really hits people in a different way. It's such a deep, it's like the bass tone of the whole thing, It's like it's just such a big piece, and it's also worldview related too. If there's like crazy pharmaceutical companies making vaccines,